Generation 5 Hinderer XM-18 with a 3.5-inch Spanto blade and its big brother with a 4-inch blade, Hinderer XM-24. Production year for the Generation 5 knives, it was 2016. Overall, the XM-24 feels a little bit heavy, might feel for some people. It's 7.8 ounces net weight, so it comes to 221 grams. Overall, we have in open position 9.1, 25 inches with a 5 millimeter or 0.19 inch blade thickness. The XM-18, this is the fatty version, which means its blade thickness is also 0.19 inches, 5 millimeters thick, and it's got its overall weight is 6 ounces, 170 grams, and its overall length we have 8.25 inches, and both come with S35VN blade, which when Hinderer treats S35VNs the way Hinderer heat treats them, they actually retain the edge much better than Chris Reeves S35VN blades. Now that's a wow factor right there. What I love and really like about these knives, it's actually, I like its thick feel. I love the way it feels in hand. You feel you're holding a knife perfectly, whether it's smaller version, the XM-18 with 3.5-inch blade, or the XM-24. For me, it does not feel heavy knife, but it feels like you are holding the knife. So I think the ergonomics, overall feel and comfort level in your hand, it's just superior. They look very beautiful. And regarding the edge, it can get very sharp and sharp enough so that the thick grind does not interfere at all with it being able to slice the paper or do any other kind of slicing. So those are the big pluses for this knife. However, I find few other issues for these models and generally for the prior generation Hinderer knives, which he was able to correct with Generation 6 tri-way pivot system, and that's a video for another time. So let's concentrate about few big issues with these guys. First thing first, other than the price point, which these guys XM-24s used to sell for around $595, and the fatty version was close to $500. So let's say $500 and $600. Now, when you sell knives at $500 and $600 and you intend them for a heavy and super heavy use, you should maybe not include the Teflon washers inside. I find that as the biggest minus for these knives. Teflon washers. Now, Teflon washers are not for a heavy or super heavy use. Maybe light to medium at best, and every year, 2 years, maybe every 6 months you need to keep changing them. So that was a big disappointment. Now, especially considering the fact you paid $500 for this knife and $600 for this guy, and they came with cheap Teflon plastic washers, and that's just unacceptable at all. And I don't know why would Rick Hinderer do that. Another big issue I find with these knives is the centering of the blade. Sometimes just does not seem too perfect. Sometimes it seems perfect. When you deassemble and assemble back these knives, it becomes a game between balancing this main pivot and the 3 other pivots. So you keep screwing them, unscrewing them, tightening them, untightening them. You have the blade at 90 degrees once you reassemble them back. You put the blade down, you insert the business card or some heavy paper, then you tighten the screws, then you untighten, you tighten the pivot, you open the knife, and you hope for the best centering. And if it's not, guess what? You will repeat those steps again. And no matter how annoying those steps seem and how much stress it might give you, you will keep repeating it if you want that perfect centering. Some people are lucky and they do get that perfect centering from the first time. However, don't be so sure you'll be lucky. Let's just assume you might need to do that. Another thing, the detent on this knife, I find it quite weak. So if you swing it with enough force, it will open on you. So detent on both of these knives, another weak point. The final factor to mention, the screws seem to be of a lower quality. So if you use a Wiha tool and press a little bit harder, I'm sure you will strip them. So what you need to do, probably go on Hinderer or other their partner website and buy titanium screws. And if you want to replace these screws, the other studs, whole set will cost you pretty much 120 to 150 bucks on the top what you paid on the knife. Wow. But that's not it. In order to do that, you need to also buy this proprietary tool so you can open the knife, assemble and deassemble. And buying this proprietary tool will cost you additional 75 bucks. Part 2 of the video will continue the rest of the discussion on the Hinderer Generation 5, XM-18 and XM-24.